Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Jeff Banas, and I'm going to take you through a series of marathon training for beginners. Take you step by step, tell you exactly what you need to do to finish your first marathon. So you decided to train for marathon. Let's go over a couple myths first about the training for marathon. One of the biggest myths is you have to run the entire race and there is no walking allowed, or that people will make fun of you if you have to walk. Complete myth. You're going to see a lot of people out there walking the marathons. In fact, in a later presentation, we're going to go over a run walk method where you actually may run for 5 or 10 minutes, then walk for 30 seconds to a minute right from the beginning. And it's a pretty good and effective way of finishing a marathon. You're going to see a lot of people walking out there, and it's okay to walk. I mean, even if you're a fairly good runner, running from one aid station to the next aid station, and then walking through the aid station and get a chance to drink in the water is sometimes better than just kind of running right through there. Another big myth is that you have to run 26.2 miles in your training, or you have to run 20 miles or even 18 miles. Far too often, people actually run too many miles. They overtrain, and that results in injuries. And that leads on to the next myth here is that you have to run 5 or 6 days a week training for a marathon. You just don't have to. I'm seeing it from my end where people are coming in hurt. They're coming in to see me because I'm a sports therapist and they're injured. They got back pain, they got knee pain, and it's usually from overuse. Your body needs some time to recover. So those are some of the biggest myths. Now, you decided to train for a marathon. Where to begin? Now, ideally, okay, this is ideally, you should go ahead and seek out a sports chiropractor or a sports physical therapist and get something what's called a functional movement screen or a biomechanical evaluation. The purpose of this is to put you through a series of movements and see if you have any weak links, if you have any muscle imbalances, any tightnesses. If you look in this picture right in here, you can see this guy right here, his arch is dropping. So his arch is dropping to the side, the knees buckling, the hips dropping down. Now, if this guy starts running continuously, yeah, he might get some knee pain, some back pain. So we want to try to avoid injury. Okay, and the best way to do that is to seek out someone trained in biomechanics. Just call them up and just tell them you started to train for a marathon and you'd like to get biomechanical or functional movement screen down, and they'll put you through a series of movements and determine if you have any muscle imbalances and weakness, and then give you some exercises or some ideas on what you can do to correct this. So this guy right up in here, if he came into me and I saw this, I'd probably recommend he get some type of orthotic to balance this out. Because this guy's probably going to have pain somewhere. So you really want to get a biomechanical evaluation to avoid injuries. Okay, and another thing is, this goes along with the same lines. You really want to learn how to recover. So many people just go out and they just run miles and miles and don't spend too much time recover. And you're going to be a lot more a better runner, a faster runner if you combine not only your training but with really good recovery. So we created a presentation in this series on recovery. So really what you want to do is to watch that presentation on how to recover. The main reason we wanted to do this again is to avoid injury and look, save money. Okay, so if you're just going off and running and not spending time doing compression or different recovery skills, you're probably going to get hurt. It's going to cost you a $20, $30, $40, $50 copay to go see a sports chiropractor or a physical therapist when you could have prevented a lot of these injuries just from the beginning on learning how to recover properly. So in the recovery presentation, we're going to go over cold compression, how to use magnesium oil to recover. The stick and foam rollers help our self-myofascial release techniques that could dig out muscle spasms and trigger points and knots. There's specific nutrition and supplement protocols that you could do to help you increase recover. Acupuncture, laser. You're going to have a lot more fun if you're training for your marathon and you do your marathon without injury or without pain. So that's why it's a really good idea to get that function movement screen done and really learn how to recover. So watch those recovery slides presentation. Another thing, if you're really serious about your training, or if you need to lose some weight, look into what's called a VO2 metabolic testing. And again, you're going to want to watch the video that we have on how to find your fat burning zones. It's going to go in detail. Just because you're running every day, it doesn't mean you're going to burn a whole lot of fat. And it's more than calories. Calories just a little bit more than just running and watching your heart rate monitor, and it says that you burn 500 calories. Do those calories come from fat? Do they come from carbohydrates? Do they come through proteins? And what you want to do is teach your body how to use its own fat more effectively, so you can use your own fat as fuel for your marathon. The result will be weight loss and increased energy from fat. So we've created a whole presentation on the fat burning zone. So make sure you watch that. Okay. Now choosing a training plan. Okay, you got pre-written plans or you have custom plans. One of the problems I see with some of the training programs is they just have you running too much. You really don't need to run 5-6 days a week like I already mentioned. I personally like people to run maybe 3 days a week, or maybe like a triathlon program with a run focus where it breaks it up. A lot of times, again, too much running can cause you to get injured. And another problem I see is there's no strength programs. And if you don't have any strength training, especially as your miles start increasing, you're going to get injured. So make sure your training program has a strength program in it. One of the biggest problems with pre-written plans is there's no feedback. Ideally, the optimal way to work for a marathon is work with a coach. So you could just get that instant feedback. Here's, I got this going on right now. What should I do? But however, on pre-written programs, if you go to trainingpeaks.com, there's a ton of running programs in there. I've created a lot of training programs. If you go to Training Peaks and you put author Dr. Jeff Banas, you'll find my training programs in there. Step by step, this Training Peaks is great. You can purchase the program. It uploads into a free program you get from Training Peaks, and it comes out the calendar just like you see here. It has actually every what you should do on that day. You just plug in your race date, and it uploads right into the program. And one note on these programs, if you buy a program or if you're just using some other program, each day is made out dependent on what you did earlier that week or that next day. So you really don't want to jump around in the program. So if you miss Tuesday, we would just have you just start on Wednesday and do Thursday. You don't want to jump around because the workout on Wednesday is scheduled based on what you did on Tuesday or Monday. If you're interested in some more customized programs, you can go ahead and drop me an email. But training programs at Training Peaks is a great source of running triathlon programs. Okay, the benefits of the custom training or coaching is you gain the experience of an experienced coach. The program is specific to you, specific on the hours you could train, what muscle imbalances you may have, your experience. If you are working with a coach, one of the things, make sure you have unlimited support with a coach or with contact. I hear this a few times from patients or clients that they email their coach and it takes them a week or two to get back to them, which I really don't understand why people put up with that. When I'm working with patients or coaching them, they have my personal cell phone number. They could text me, email me anytime. So really, if you are going to work with a coach, make sure you have unlimited contact, and make sure they're using some type of tracking software. We use that Training Peaks program where we go right into there. The client uploads their data, their heart rate, their miles, their calorie, how they're feeling that day, and we could review all their data. We also could go calories, heart rate, or heart rate variability that we talk about in a different podcast. Okay, so we want to leave these kind of short. So go on to part 2, where we're going to get into a lot more specific about how to train for your marathon. Make sure you really do watch that recovery video and watch how to find your fat zones. The purpose of this is to give you some ideas to hopefully so you don't get hurt. Like I said, if you do that biomechanical screen, really learn how to recover, you'll have a lot more fun training for your marathon or training, racing in general. If you have any questions, drop me an email. If you have any questions about my training programs or my personal supervision coaching, go to my website down here, Dr. Jeff, no, that's not it, www.banasportstherapy.com. We'll see you next time.